Mary Beth. She's the one who made this going.
Mary Beth.
This is all for you. So later on, make sure you talk to him, okay? All right. All right, so everybody, as we get started, okay, this is Mr. Tom Caine. All right, he's been through tennis for a lifetime. All right, so he's been a part of every aspect of tennis you could imagine. He's going to talk to you about a variety of topics, and if you have questions, you can ask him at the end. But let's give him a nice warm welcome that he's here. He came all the way from Texas, not just for you to visit his son, but he made a special trip to come see you guys. So, Mr. Tom Caine, thank you for coming.
How many of you have been playing tennis just a short period of time, just kind of getting started? One? Only one? Everybody else played for many, many, many years? 4 years? 4 years only? I didn't learn to play tennis until I was in the 10th grade. I was a decent athlete, and I trained like crazy, and actually played on the Pro Tour and got ranked as high as 228 in the world. I don't know if that's for everybody, but I'm going to tell you the fun about going for something with all you got. A lot of good things happen in your life when you just focus on whatever and just go for it. Tennis happens to be an extremely social sport, which I like a lot. Not only you get to play someone, no one gets physically hurt, you just get mentally beat up if you lose really bad. You're like, I lost so bad. But you get to say to that person, next time we play, instead of saying, oh God, we can't be friends, you get to stand right up to them and go, next time I'm going to kick your ass. Even though you just lost 6-0. When I played in high school football, if I said that, it was go time right there. We use those words. But in tennis, it's like, yeah, I'll bring it, please. No big deal. I learned to play tennis in Madrid, Spain. My father was an engineer, and he took a job in Spain. And so when I was 13, my whole family, I'm one of 3 brothers and a sister, and we all moved to Madrid, Spain, but we lived in San Francisco at the time. So to a 13-year-old, I was loving San Francisco, and that was really seemed like awful, awful, awful to go to Madrid, Spain. But in reality, guess what? The big guy upstairs knows what's best for you, and it was the experience of my life. I lived there for about 7 or 8 years. And yes, it's true, we don't eat dinner until about 11 at night. The clubs don't open until 1, and the morning clubs are the best. So everyone who grows up in the States says, oh, that can't be. Oh yeah, it can't be. So what I'm saying, well, the only reason I tell that story is so everyone here knows it's a big wide world, and you need to know people in Texas are extremely jealous of people who live in the New York area, because that's like...
Miss Quinn, please call the main office.
That's like a huge deal. Years ago in 1980, somewhere in there, I trained and lived in Great Neck, New York for 6 weeks. And I had a coach there that changed my game, a guy named Chris Growald, working with several of the players that played at Columbia. And I was spending, I think, somewhere around $200 an hour for a lesson, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm getting ripped off. But about 2 weeks later, I qualified then for a Grand Prix event, and the paycheck was $3,500. I spent like $3 grand. I said to the coach, hey, I'm up $500. Let's go into the city. Yes. Did everyone grow up here? Has everyone been living here in Fort Jefferson? Not Port Jefferson. Fort Jefferson. This is great, you guys. Since you've lived here your whole life, you don't know how great it is, but I'm telling you, this area is fantastic, fantastic. Oh, the other thing is Roger Federer. Everybody knows Roger Federer, right? He always says, it's great to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Everybody say great. In life, you score a lot more points. Anybody read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People? No, you all already have friends, so you didn't need that book. Have anyone ever heard of that book? It's by Dale Carnegie, and in that book, he describes to everyone the most important words in the world to each person are their name. What's the number 1 words used on the phone? I, me. I, blah, blah. When you're talking, I went to the I. Who do we love to talk about morning, noon, night? Ourselves. In this book, it describes that if you're willing to take the time to learn someone's name and listen to what they have to say, and you don't have to say much at all, you learn everything about them, and they like you. And they like you not because of all the things you've done, but because you took the time to ask them, where are you from? Do you come from a big family? Are there any introverts in here? You're not going to raise your hand as an introvert. That was fine. But introverts are the same thing. Everyone loves to talk about themselves and has a good time. I know in high school it's I remember I'm looking back now because at the time I was a good athlete. Everyone tries to fit in and all that, and I'm just going to tell everybody here, it's the worst your experience are in life. It helps you out so much later in life. All the great comedians, their childhoods were horribly embarrassing, horribly didn't fit in. My third day in Madrid, Spain, I am 13 years old. I go, because my brothers had already been there 3 months. I go out with my brothers who knew Madrid, Spain. They knew the subway system. They totally got it. But my little brother said, come with me. We're going to go to the ice skating ring. And I had a beer for the first time. So then he says, I'm going to spend the night with my friend. And he said, but I'm the big brother. You can get home, right? Yeah, well, it was 3 changes on the subway. For a 13-year-old that speaks no Spanish, pretty dyslexic, sadly. And it was traumatic beyond belief. I like salty discharge. I'm all for it. From an emotional standpoint, you feel better after you cry. You feel better after. But at the end of the day, when you're stuck on a subway platform and you don't speak the language, you finally have to do something. I prayed hard to God that day, please, please, please allow me just this once to speak Spanish so that I can get my way out of this. And it was just so bad. People would walk by and I'd go, and they were saying to me, anybody here speak Spanish? Déjame en paz, borracho. Leave me alone, drunk, or drunk. And I was like, I didn't speak Spanish at the time, so I didn't even know. So then, this is a horrible thing that happened to me. It changed my life very dramatically for a plus. In every subway in Madrid at that time, back in the 74, 75, they had a big map of every single subway station. This little guy, I'm sure he had children, he came up to me and we go to the map and he starts pointing and saying each station name. And he said like maybe 30 before he got to Estación del Norte. And I said, yes, yes. And then he did this to me. And what have we taught our whole lives? Don't go with strangers, man. Never go with strangers, not a stranger. And he took me all the way back to my apartment. And then ever since that day, then for the rest of my life, when people seem sort of desperate and you're like, oh my God, we're lost. We don't have any money. There's going to be, I'm like, yes, let the adventure begin. It's going to be the best time of your life because now finally you have to think past, like the security of your parents right there. Like you're playing baseball and you're missing, you turn, you look, there's your mom and dad. You picture swinging, you turn and look and everybody's like, get out of here. It's just, it's that good. How many seniors do we have here? Is everybody going to college? Okay, good. Way to go. I was going to tell everyone that said, oh, I'm not planning on going. I would say, I tell everyone that I know, you need to go to college because it's the best time ever because you're all even, everyone's broke, and everyone's very ambitious. You're all the same age, and it's a great pool to meet people in and find like-minded people. So I was going to say, you're going to really like college. Congratulations to whatever schools you're going to, and you're going to have a great time. The Pro Tennis Tour, okay. Looks glamorous. I'm just going to tell you it's grind. Being 9 months, 12 months away from your home, you got to be a certain kind of person that at one point, and this is a long time ago, there wasn't the internet hookup where I could have talked back home like crazy to all my friends and all that stuff. None of that. And I remember I was thinking one time I was on the road, I would pay a significant amount of money right now to have my 2 brothers here right now, just so we could fight. Forget the, hey, nice to see you, just so we could have somebody just to pound each other to do it. So what I'm saying there is, or I'm trying to say there is, isn't it nice to have friends? It's nice to have friendships, and also it's great to have someone that gets your little inside jokes and all that stuff. And tennis is one of those sports where you're like a lone wolf. You might have a doubles partner, you might have a best friend, but even on the teams and all that, there's like a pecking order and everybody's kind of gunning for everybody. And if you're the top dog, you got everybody shooting for you then. Everybody, wants to bring you down. Now, some people think that competition is not a good thing. I'm of the exact opposite opinion. I love competition. I'll bet on anything. If we had a little piece of paper right now and there was a garbage can from here, let's just start betting on that. You know, who can make that? I love this country, and I've been to a ton of countries because I played on the tour. And also, I have a bucket list of countries, and I don't want to ruin anybody's dreams, of countries and places I never ever want to go again, ever. This is not one of them, though. This is really nice for Jefferson. I ate at Toast today. Anybody eating at Toast? Pretty good, huh? Did you get It's a nice butter. It was very. So, any adversity that you're going through right now that you feel like is holding you back, but it makes you think, it makes you discover yourself of who you are and what kind of person you're going to be, you know you're right in the right place. Instead of saying like, I'm having the worst life, no one will talk to me, whatever, you're exactly in the right place. And then finally, I'm just going to say, me and my wife, and the reason I haven't gotten fired at being a tennis coach is because she's the better of us when it comes to actually coaching the girls and stuff. I've been there how many years now? 8 years?
Going into 10.
10 years, and we've won the state championship the last 4 years we've won it. So at the school now, everyone is really nice to us for no other reason. Somehow you get credit, but we have like a bunch of really good players on the team, and it's a tennis culture kind of school, and it's an all-girls school, Catholic school, and they are like gung-ho into it. One of the girls got a full ride to Dartmouth, and they're just incredible competitive standpoint. I heard you guys did quite well. You were ranked 14th. Did I get that right, Coach? 14th?
Yeah, the boys, yeah.
Boom. Way to go, fellas. And that's really it. It's been fun coaching, and I really like working with the young people. And the part I like about it is that you watch them grow, and I also learn tons from them. You know, there's all kinds of new music coming out, and new ideas and new apps, and some good, some not so good. But overall, it's been a lot of fun. And I'm here because of tennis. And let me tell you why I'm here because of tennis, besides this talk, which is so...
There we go.
My son went to high school, and then he graduated from school. Well, because I played tennis, I played with a lot of different people, and I played with a 2-time All-American. He was Division II All-American, and he won the doubles, him and his partner. So they get an automatic bid into the Division I tournament in tennis, which you guys know the players that have played this, Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, to name a few that have won the Division I tennis tournament. And because I knew this doctor and we played together and practiced together, when my son got out of high school, college. When he got out of college, he wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do with his life. He had, what kind of degree?
Biochem.
Biochemistry. But he wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do with his life. And Doc Langford said to me, hey, you should have the kid work with me as a scribe. He's an emergency room doctor, and he did that for a year and a half. And he worked the doctor's hours. The doctor's hours for emergency room are, sometimes it's 9 to 5. No, it's 12-hour shifts. Sometimes it's 9 to 9. But sometimes they start like 3 in the afternoon and their shift gets off at 3 in the morning, or 6 in the evening gets off at 6. And Sean did that for a year. And that doctor, Doc Langford, and the staff at that hospital told my son all the time, you can do this. If you want, you could be a doctor. You should take the MCAT. You should do that. Well, I'm here today because he's a first-year residency at the college right here in Stony Brook. So because of tennis, nothing to do really with me other than the contacts that you make in life. So that's why I mentioned the book where you try and remember everybody's name, which is really hard for me, but if you can do that, it really helps out. And that's it. Any questions?
What made you realize you wanted to do tennis professionally?
Well, I didn't know I was going to play tennis professionally. I had no idea that that was going to even be an option. But I was working with the #1 junior in Madrid. His name is Ricardo Sanchez, and Ricardo Sanchez still plays tennis to this day in terms of he coaches. He took a player named Helena Yankovic. This was my doubles partner for over 6 years on the tour. Helena Yankovic was ranked #1 in the world about 10 years ago now?
Not that
5
long.
years ago?
No,
Maybe
yeah,
5 years
about
ago.
5.
He took her from number 50 to #1 in the world. And that's who I trained with from not knowing how to play tennis to with him. And he's still in the game. And he just opened up a giant tennis camp in Almeria, Spain. So I didn't know I was going to be a pro, but I hung out with him. He signed up for all the tournaments. And next thing you know, we were beating some decent players. He certainly was. And so I would try and hang in there with him. And next thing you know, it's like, hey, we just won this tournament, and guess what? You're getting ATP points, which is known as Association of Tennis Professionals. And next thing you know, your name comes out on the list, and you can sign up for the big tournaments, but you got to have that world ranking in order to do it. Otherwise, it would be crowded with tons of people. But I didn't know is the answer to that. I was a good athlete in baseball, football, and basketball before I played tennis, so I didn't know that I would actually try and turn that into something. But to be fair, I was the tournament referee for the last 25 years at the U.S. Open. His name is Brian Early. Brian Early was the tournament
Director
of the smaller tournaments when I was young. And whenever he sees me, he says, Tom Caine. And when he sees me at the Open now, he says, you are the best of the worst. And coming from him, though, that's a huge compliment because he's the one who walks out, the Roger Federers, the Serena Williams, he's the one who walks them out to the court. So for him to even know who I am and that I play tennis is like a really huge, big deal. To be mentioned as like the best of the worst. I still play tennis. I'm very active. I can still serve at about 120. I'm right now 60 pounds over my playing weight. But I love food. I'm a man of excesses, and oh my gosh, so I still eat like I'm on the tour, I guess, sadly. I'm not working out like that. I still come to win every time I play. If I can win quickly and decisively and all that, I still bring it like crazy. I got no problem pegging someone. I find it hilarious. And I find it hilarious if I get pegged because, you got your racket. You just put it out there. It's hard to hit someone if they have their racket out, right? You can't really do it. And for me, the one thing I like best about tennis versus a lot of other sports, it's a lifetime sport. You can play it. I mean, if you can walk or whatever, you can play it right up to the time you die, and it turns out in life that there's some things that are a lot of fun to do, and there's a whole lot of stuff we have to do that's not that much fun. So if you find something that you like to do, man, stick with it, because life goes on and on and on and on, whatever you're doing. And also the other thing is, you don't know when, one of us is going to get in a bad wreck or whatever, so it's important to do all you can do right now because like, crap, I wish I would have done something more, and then I got this big accident. I wish I would have done, more instead of less. So that would be a good philosophy always. Always try and say yes. Never, there's a whole philosophy movement out there that I don't like, where people say, don't overschedule yourself. Oh, you're going to put yourself under so much pressure. That's all. Do as much as you can. Help as many other people as you can. And your life, when you live a life for others and trying to help others, your life becomes a fantastic place to be. Because then you don't know it, but you get rewarded in ways that you don't even realize at the time that it's happening. I have 3 children. This is my wife, Chris. This is my daughter-in-law, Lisa, and this is my daughter, Kelsey. Kelsey actually played on the tennis team when I was the coach, so that was interesting. And that's it. Any other questions?
Oh, here's
Go.
one.
Earlier, when you first came in, we talked about when you started playing. It was really as a sophomore in high school, and started learning. What were some of the challenges for you starting at it's kind of a later age for tennis? and then competing at a high level?
The biggest challenge is to get good at something, you got to be willing to be really bad at it at first. And so you got to be willing to accept the fact that these people that are ahead of you and better than you have put in a lot more time than you at this point. So you want to be the top student, you want to be the top player, you've got to put in the time. And for the absolute beginner and for a lot of players on the actual tour right now, the wall never misses. The wall's unforgiving. The wall can hit back all day. You put your net on the wall, but also you draw a square where you're trying to hit the ball. And I'm great on the wall. I put in so much time on the wall. I can hit the ball so hard against the wall and keep it in play. It's incredible. Boom, boom, boom. I can burn myself out in about 15, 20 minutes against the wall. Just boom, 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 boom. So that's so when somebody says, "Oh, no one will play with me. I don't have, what it takes." Very quickly, if someone puts in the time that it takes to get really good at something, everyone will want to play with you, and then you'll be the discriminating one saying, "I don't want to waste either one of our times. You should go to the wall because I was there." And it takes some time. It takes some time, but you can get good. You can get very, very good. And that's the part I love about tennis is you've got a shot. You got a shot whoever you play. Even if they're way better, they could turn their ankle. Anything can happen. They could get violently ill. I beat them. Well, I thought they got so sick they had to leave. Whatever. I'm moving on. They're out. That's it.
I have something else to piggyback that. So once you started playing at a high level and competing, as an athlete, once you're in competition, it's easy to just keep going. A lot of times what I see with a lot of my kids, even here, or even outside when you see other kids play, sometimes they don't have that drive, in a match to compete. And I always say it's something that it's inside you, it's not something that could really be taught. But what are some of the things that help motivate you to play and compete at that high level when you were playing great or when you were playing from behind?
For me, in my life, the biggest motivators have been the people who tell you you'll never amount to anything. I'm going to tell you guys where I'm at in my life now. I took the drive when I played tennis and switched over to real estate. And so when I got into real estate, I was a Remax realtor for like 15 years. And I figured out how to invest and all that stuff. So now me and my wife, we own a ton of real estate free and clear. And I have a life that a lot of people would love to have in terms of we have, unlimited time. I don't really have a schedule. I'm working right now. How do I look? Okay. Someone might call and say something in one of our properties isn't working or whatever, and then I'll just have to call the plumber or the electrician or the air conditioner guy, and that, oh my gosh. I need a nappy and a snacky. I've been working so hard. But that only comes from when you figure out how you, just like in tennis, I figured out how to hit the drop shot, how to hit the topspin, how to hit the overhead, how to hit the backhand, how to hit between the legs, how to hit the drop shot, and the guy barely gets to it, and then you can hit him with the ball. No, that's but the same thing with whatever you do in life later on too. You figure out way more than you need to, and you can turn that into a business that allows you to thrive and do really, really well at whatever field anybody chooses to go into. I will say this though, whatever field you choose to go into, with the money you make, invest. Gee, I don't sound like a tennis coach, do I? Sound like invest. I just want McDonald's money. Good, we got a $1 menu. Yeah. That's it. And then the other thing is, be really nice to everybody. You never know who's hurting. You never know when somebody's going through something, because we're not going to share when our parents have cancer. We're not going to share when our little brother or sister's hurting. We're not going to do that. We're going to just keep that to ourselves. So you never know when you're talking to someone where they're at in life. You don't know what's going on in their lives. So to always try and be like a positive influence. Like, I always liked this guy. He always had a nice word to say. Always said hi. And sometimes in life, that's all you need that day to get through. a good compliment for me, when someone compliments me, I can live off that for 6 months to a year, man. Hey, King, thank you so much. Hey, you got it, man. And it's a lot of fun. You guys are coming into what I consider probably the greatest years that America is ever going to have. And I know I'm contradictory thinking there, because a lot of people say, oh, there's no opportunity, blah, blah, blah. I disagree. With the technology and the way everybody's allowed to, able to stay in contact, everybody can make their own movie. You can do so many things that you could never do before when I was a kid. And then I hear people my age all the time, they always say, oh, they should do like when we were kids. They should just go outside and play. What a load of... I mean, yes, obviously get outside and do stuff. I mean, I'm not against that. But if there's a way that you can right away edit your own book, you can write your own stories, you can have a freak video and have 5 million people. I mean, what's the Fox one? What does the Fox say? Oh my gosh. Even I've seen that. I don't know how many hits it has. I saw, not Adam Sandler? Not Adam Sandler. One of the guys was on a talk show. I'm on a boat. Have you guys seen this video?
Oh, Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg. And he just casually said, yeah, I think we've had like 22 million hits on that. And the song went double platinum, you know, something crazy. And they just did it as a giant joke. They didn't do it like, oh, this is a living. We're going to do this. We're going to get so huge. So I think your guys' generation is going to have the best challenges, because we need a lot of help. My generation has messed up a lot of stuff. Thank gosh, you young people are coming along, and you're going to figure out how to fix all of our problems. And that's the real truth. If you come up with one good idea, it can be worth zillions of dollars. You know, and instead of hoarding the idea, you let it fly, and it turns into. Anybody here Khan Academy? Khan Academy is a free online, sponsored by Bill Gates, a young teacher that was helping his cousin out with hard math, with Algebra 2. And all of your classes now, they're all online for free on Khan Academy, especially the chemistry and the algebra and the foreign languages and the all that stuff. So he gave it away like crazy. Bill Gates immediately gave that young man around $20 million. Yikes. So just an idea, you know. And everybody's, tons and tons of students, you can say, I don't have a teacher, nobody cares about me. You can go on Khan Academy and you can figure out how to do chemistry. You can figure out all these things. So I just think that, and plus that, you guys live in, you know, New York. Come on, everybody in the nation wants to live in New York. New York, baby. I am not a fan of the evil empire. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, so long time suffering. That's just the way it's going to be. In football, even worse, it looks like. Although I'm hoping Johnny Manziel comes back, being played at A&M. We miss him. I think he brings a certain panache to the game if he can just get on the field. I'm showing what a sports geek I am, that I care about all the crazy sports stuff. That's it. Thank you very much for having me here, you guys, and good luck in the future. You're all going to be good. You're all going to do it.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming. If you have any questions, I mean, if you want to ask privately, you can do that quickly. If not, girls, I'll be in touch.